Good evening, rockers. Vegas Rock Goddess here on the rocks. Total entertainment coming to you live from somewhere off the Las Vegas Strip. Tonight, we are going to interview somebody who's a friend of mine. He's an amazing artist. He's got a great band right here in Vegas, John Van Boldt. This guy rocks, man. I just got to see him in action at Vamped with Velvet Chains and Five Headed Cobras. Such a great show. So we're going to talk to him. We're going to dig a little deep in here. He's playing a lot of new material. So I'm going to get the logistics here on what's happening with Mr. Van Boldt. So hang tight and we're going to get started. Right, we got John coming in, so let's let him in. I see nothing. There he is.
Yeah, why am I wearing sunglasses? Hang on now.
Are you trying to take the sunglasses off, or what's going on over there?
I don't know. All the studio equipment in the world that I can do, and I don't know how to work this fucking thing. All right, hang on now.
It's okay, John.
Deal.
All right, John, what's going on, man?
James. My name's James.
What's up, James? I mean,
yeah,
I'm
James
still high from your last show, man.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm still coming down, man.
Thank you. That was a big one.
That was a killer show.
Thank you so much.
I haven't seen you in a while, so when I saw you at Vamped, man, you were killer. Like,
we've been working extra hard. We've been rehearsing a lot more. We got new songs.
It totally showed. Totally.
Say it again.
It totally showed, man.
Hard work pays off. Who knew?
Exactly.
The secret was we rehearsed more. It's crazy. Who knew that was the answer to everything?
But yeah, you're double dipping though. You that night had two gigs. You and Jason both, right?
Jason, no. So we played with Carlos in Von Boldt.
Okay.
And then I played in Velvet Chains with Jason. I'm officially a member of Velvet Chains now. And
wow.
Because of scheduling and everything, we did just take Jason on as our official drummer.
Oh, wow.
We just played with him on Sunday, actually, right after. He had played with us before, so he already knew all the songs. But just because my schedule revolves around Velvet Chains so much more now, and so does Jason, so it just works out really easily.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations. Breaking news.
There you go.
I had no idea. That's amazing. I mean,
yeah, they're killer. I love working with those guys, man. They're so much fun. We've had so much fun on the road.
Nils, Ro, that band, I gave them their first interview at Rockstar Bar. And I
think mine too.
Yeah, yours too. I think you were there the same night. And
yeah, actually, that's how long I've been messing with those guys. I used to work with them in the studio. I used to own a studio, and
right.
They came through, and the funny thing is, right as I decided to not be a business owner and give up, having money and clout and everything that comes with owning a badass studio and just be a musician full time. A week later, Niels called me and was like, "Hey, I know you're really busy with the studio, but do you want to come on tour with us in Brazil with like Stone Temple Pilots and shit?" And I was like, "Call me." Funny story. I'm not with the studio anymore, so yeah, it's just been a roller coaster ever since I left.
Wow, so killer. Well, yeah. Let's catch up now. I know you're working on new material because you actually played a couple new songs, correct?
Yeah, so we actually, I'm wearing the Frank Sinatra shirt as we speak. I'm from New Jersey originally, so I'm doing a Frank Sinatra album, or EP. It'll probably be like 4 songs. We're gonna start trickling them out maybe next month. The first one is Strangers in the Night, but it's a little bit more metal. And then we will have I'm doing Autumn Leaves, and that'll be more cinematic orchestration. Like it'll be all orchestra, no guitars, anything like that. Just me singing. And then me and Lisa are going to do a version of Bang Bang, You Shot Me Down. And that'll be a mix of both. And then the last song will probably be I'm a Fool to Want You. And that's almost primarily me with an acoustic guitar and a little bit of eerie strings and stuff like that. Very like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, you are like one of the busiest guys in Vegas, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you are everywhere. And how was Brazil with Velvet Chains? I mean, come on,
Which time?
I'm just saying when you went, I mean,
Those guys are working me.
Yeah.
No, Brazil is awesome. All of South America, you know, rock and roll in South America is kind of like hip hop here. Like they haven't really gotten into hip hop as much down there. Not that there's nobody that likes hip hop down there, but rock and roll is still huge, like it once was here. And so the fans over there, like we'd be opening, like the last time we went, we opened for Slash. Slash is like God, right? So you just kind of assume nobody's going to know you. But they even knew that I wasn't the original guitarist, but I did tour with them once. But like the fans, when I went out to meet them, they like knew stuff that they knew that I had a horror movie influence, like horror rock
Right.
band.
We're gonna
And
talk.
they've done all this research, and
We're gonna
they
talk
came
about
early.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, they came early and like and stayed through the whole set and were crazy and wild and rowdy and awesome. And yeah, they super appreciated us. And yeah, I can't wait to go back. It's one of my favorite places to play.
Wow, that's
All of South.
amazing. I mean, to have an opportunity like that to absorb, you know, thousands of people in
Yeah.
such a large crowds out there.
The biggest one I think we did with Slash was 8,000, I think.
Wow.
Don't quote me on it, but I think it was 8,000.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty incredible. But
So Velvet Chains gets my underground ass into doors that I shouldn't be in and talking to people I'm not supposed to meet. You know what I mean?
but that's all right. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man.
No,
Nothing wrong
I
with
certainly
that.
don't mind. But they're super good to me. And by the way, Slash is awesome. Like when we were playing with him, the second night, I think he ended up he was a little under the weather and didn't want to spread it. So after a while, we didn't see him anymore, but except for on stage and all that. But the second night, he came into our green room to introduce himself.
Right.
Like it's like Jesus came down and was like, "Hey, by the way, I'm Jesus." It was just the nicest guy.
Like he walks in. He doesn't even have to introduce himself.
Say again?
He didn't even have to introduce himself. He just walked in, right?
Yeah, he could have just waved and we would have been happy. You know, it's just it's awesome. So, but he's just such a cool guy. Yeah, he checked to make sure we had everything we needed. His staff ended up, we were flying everything ourselves, all of our gear and everything.
Wow.
So they took what they had room for and would transport it for us and set it up for us and stuff. It's like the best I've ever been treated, maybe in life, is with Slash, honestly.
Right. But for the viewers who don't know, you know, who you are or what your band is like.
Shame on you.
Yes. Shame on them. But anyway, that's why you're on, because I want to kind of go back to like when we first met. You definitely are a big film buff. You've done films.
Yeah.
So why don't you kind of bring us up to speed on how rock and roll kind of came into it?
Well, I mean, since I was a baby, my dad is a musician, his brother's a musician, their father's a musician, and my grandfather actually knew Sinatra before he was huge, like back in New Jersey. I'm sure, like, I don't know if Sinatra would have remembered my grandfather, you know, towards his later years or whatever, but he'd gotten my grandma, who had ripped stockings at the time, you know, because that was like a big deal back then. She couldn't go to the show because she had ripped stockings. So he went to the store next to the venue and bought her stockings and was like, go change and then get to the fucking show. Don't miss this. You know what I mean? Like, so my grandfather has a letter from Sinatra that says, "Hey, Barry, when you going to come see me, you bum?" And then Sinatra. So it's like, you know, we've had a big musical family. So that's how it started for me. And there's a picture somewhere of me. I'm probably not even a year old at like a little toy piano doing Little Richard, you know, I probably first heard it Brave Little Toaster or whatever that cartoon was when I was a kid. And I was like, woo, you know, I love all that rock and roll stuff.
Right.
And from there, it just never ended. I tried to give it a break. I got married once and I tried to do like just more studio work and all that. And I mean, we know how that ended because here I am quitting the studio and back on the road. And so, you know, lesson learned. I think when you have the bug, you have the bug. There's really not a lot you can do about it. You wear every song. You don't write like a weight until you start writing them again.
Yeah.
So I've just always been in music.
So tell us how the horror thing came in, because I know, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a theme going on. So kind of fill in the viewers a little bit on how you incorporate all that into your performing.
Yeah. So again, my father was a big fan of movies. He's a big John Carpenter fan. I think a lot of guys my age. I'm around like 35, I think, somewhere in there. And I remember when I was a kid, I was probably 4 or 5 years old. The Thing from Another World came on TV and I was watching it and I built like a fort and it was scaring the fuck out of me. It's a 50s movie. I mean, the movie's so old, if I'm not mistaken, I probably don't have the best movie trivia anymore, but I think it's the first movie they ever did overlapping dialogue where like people interrupted each other to make it seem more realistic. I
Oh,
think
wow.
that's how old this movie is. It's not scary at all by today's standards. You know, there's no blood or anything. It's black and white. But I watched that movie and it just terrified me. I mean, I used to sneak out when everybody was sleeping and look at the VHS cover just to see if it was still frightening me, and it did. And I think I just always wanted my music to have like that sort of impact, you know, where like even the cover or something could just make you feel something, whether it was scary or not, irrelevant. I just love that horror has that ability to just make you feel something instantaneously, you know, especially if it's something you have an actual phobia of. And so I just from there, you know, just became a huge fan of everything horror, not just movies, like comic books, novels, whatever, you know, all horror. And I was like, you know what? When I was writing some new songs, when I decided I was going to do more of a solo project, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just a huge Misfits Danzig fan. And it's not like, you know, look, I'm not original. Like a guy that writes heavy music that is into horror it's not, you know, the most original idea. I was just like, I'm going to take my spin on this. And since we've done that, when I first started it, the band was called The Night Stalker, and it was named after the made-for-TV movie Kolchak, The Night Stalker. Story for another time. So when I finally put the band together, and it wasn't just this thing I was putting out on the internet, a good friend of mine, Darren Trentikos, who was our original guitarist and my partner at the studio, he came in after one weekend, Monday morning in the studio, and was like, you know, dude, you're writing all these kick-ass songs. I've been playing them all weekend. They're rocking. Like, why don't you just do the Danzig thing and call it Von Boldt? Just call it your last name, like you were thinking. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And since we started the actual band, my writing changed a little bit, where we still do a lot of horror, but a lot of our songs on this current album that we have out, we put out last October, is more like Memento Mori, like death as a motivating factor to live life to its fullest and not take things for granted. So it's still spooky and scary, but there's this heavy emphasis on, you know, anytime. I mean, when you were there on Friday, I did a whole thing where I was speaking about a friend of the band who had gotten cancer and she's in remission. And she had seen the pictures of me on stage with Velvet Chains, and she had seen the music we were working on with Von Boldt and all that. And she was just like, you're inspiring me while I'm, you know, she was in like the worst part of chemo. I mean, it was destroying her inside and out. It's horrible what they do to you when you got that fucking disease. And I just thought it was crazy that she would say that, you know, woman's fighting for her life to just be normal again, you know, to, again, like I said at the show, have some beers with a friend and listen to live music. Like, it's just not even an option for her at that point. And so I was like, you know what, from now on, the band's not taking this shit for granted anymore. We're going to play every show like it's the last show we'll ever play. And at the end of the show, we do all die on stage. They close the curtain on us with all the feedback. And so it's I want people to walk away from our live performances and our records, honestly, just experiencing a little bit of that. Like, you know what, you don't know that you're going to be here tomorrow. So if you wanted to ask somebody out or dance a little bit, it's like, just kind of let loose and do what you're going to do, because you don't know if you're going to have the chance to do it again. And we actually give out these little skulls and these little gravestones at the show to anybody we see. Like, after we say that stuff to them, you know, in between songs, if we see somebody like really getting down and having a good time and just like being free of all the societal, you know, and people having their phones out and you're worried you're on camera, and people that let loose a little bit and just kind of live in the moment, for that time we give them these little skulls because they're so small. I think a lot of people will lose them in their pockets or in their car, and they'll find them at a later date, and it will remind them of that idea that, like, you know what, like whatever life decision they might be making, whether it's where to eat tonight or whether they should leave their business or whether they should start a business or whatever it is, it might change a little bit of their outlook and their mindset going into, you know, anything. You know, I like the idea. I mean, I got death on my arm. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I can see it totally.
That's just a flex. That's the only reason I do it. And so, yeah, that's really a big going forward, especially with the new singles that we have coming out and stuff like that. It's a That's a lot about death.
Well, but it makes sense because I mean, hallowed be my name. I mean, what a great title for a record.
Can I tell you a quick story about that?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
So on stage, I will, black out my eyes and stuff. And it's not so unlike Alice Cooper. Obviously, I'm a huge fan. I looked in Spotify when I had the idea, Hallowed Be My Name. And obviously Iron Maiden came out, up like Hallowed Be Thy Name and all that. And I thought I was in the clear and I completely fucking forgot. Can we curse on this? I've been cursing.
Yeah,
sorry.
You're fine.
I completely forgot that that's an Alice Cooper song. Hallowed Be My Name is an Alice Cooper song. So, respect.
Of course.
The first three tracks on Hallowed Be My Name, the first song is Shame. And the concept behind that is like, your ancestors survived saber-toothed tigers and plagues and all this crap so that, you could play video games all day, smoke weed and jerk off on Pornhub. You know what I mean? It's just and these songs, they sound like I'm singing them at you, the listener, and I'm not. They're songs to me. You know what I mean? They're songs about different parts of my life where I really turn things around. I'll have to send you, maybe you can put it in the video. I'll send you a picture of me before I started working out and everything too. It's just like, I've completely turned my entire life around. And the starting place for me was just kind of being ashamed, even with my musical family background and all that. I was like, you know what? I have this opportunity. I've got all my limbs. I'm healthy enough. You know what I mean? Like, well, why am I not doing more with what I have? And the chorus to that is, you forsake their names and dance on their graves when you decide to be a slave. And then the second song is Hallowed Be My Name, which the concept behind taking pride in who you are and who you want to be and working, aggressively towards doing that. It's done in more of an occult kind of way and the religious undertones and all that. Hallowed Be My Name. But none of our stuff is, I love black metal and I love all the satanic stuff, but I just don't think I have a whole lot to contribute. I feel like all my favorite bands already did it better than anything I would come out with. And we have a few like satanic throwaway lines here and there for fun, but it's not even intended to be sacrilegious. It's intended more for like people pray or wish or ask the universe for a lot of shit that they're able to do themselves. And so in a sense, changing your entire life from the inside out is almost a religious experience, regardless of what religion or whether you believe in the universe or science or whatever else. It's almost like you have a superpower to completely transform your body, your mindset, and your circumstances. And there's, there's countless evidence. I mean, you even see those videos of the, ex-military missing limbs still getting in the gym. And it's just like, I like to look at that and be like, am I really going to skip the gym today because this guy didn't? You know what I mean? It's humbling. And so it's almost a superpower or a holy thing that, you have this ability to kind of grant your own prayers. And so when I say Hallowed Be My Name, it's not intended for the audience to sing Hallowed Be Your Name to me, like Hallowed Be Von Boldt's name. When they sing it, it's for them. They're singing Hallowed Be My Name.
Right.
And so that's what that one is about. And then the third song is called Commit Murder, which sounds an awful lot in all the lyrics like it's about, inciting violence or that I'm some cult leader encouraging people to go out and kill people in the streets. And that's not the case. It's actually, when you want somebody to do well, what do you say? You say kill it, you say slay, you say break a leg. It's like all violent. So the whole song is like, now that you've felt shame for the things, for the things you've taken for granted, and now that you've taken, responsibility for yourself and this like otherworldly like power you have to change your entire circumstance in life. The third song is like, now go fucking murder. Like go out and paint the streets red. Like make the world yours. Go out and take the world by the fucking balls.
Right.
Ain't nobody handing out envelopes out here, It's a quote joke.
So time is a precious thing and we're not promised. So let's do it now.
Yeah.
As I say. But why don't you tell the viewers who's in your band?
The current lineup is Lisa Foyles on lead backup vocals. We'll do ladies first. And she's incredible. I don't know how much. Oh my
God, we're gonna talk about her.
Okay.
For sure. But yeah, who else? Your drummer's killer.
Thank you. So our drummer was Carlos, and he is killer. He's one of the best drummers ever. The other one of the best drummers ever is Jason Hope, or I call him Von Hopeless.
Oh yeah.
And again, Velvet Chain
Chicago boy. He's a Chicago boy.
And he's just, yeah, I love him to death. Him and I are brothers. We've been through a lot together. Our rhythm guitarist, who also plays a lot of leads, I shouldn't even call him a rhythm guitarist. We just switch off everything, but is Nathan. And he, I want to say he's not been in a lot of bands. He's one of those guys that just runs scales in his bedroom constantly, and he could just play guitar circles around me. You know what I mean? He's just way better than I am, which is handy. It's really good to have because sometimes I can give him a solo and then I can jump around and, you know, punch my guitar and perform a little bit. So that's kind of,
Right.
I'm used to being stuck on the microphone or stuck next to the pedal board. And so he kind of frees me up to do that. And then Lonnie was our bass player, but he's recently had to leave. He's just in 3 other bands. He works a job like 3, 4 in the morning. So he was coming to rehearsals, you know, and at 10 o'clock at night, knowing that he's got to be back at work and at other rehearsals, you know, in a few hours. So,
right.
You know, had a lot going on, but I think he might be like the best bass player in Las Vegas. So it's a shame to see him go. I think he's going to be back between you and I. Like we didn't exactly accept his resignation, but we may have to work with him a little bit. We might have to do some shows without him, but I think eventually we get him full time. I'm currently auditioning some guys right now for bass, and then
cool.
I'm also on guitar.
Well, let's talk about Lisa because she is absolutely
let's not.
Amazing.
Okay, let's talk.
How did you guys hook up? As far
we never hooked up.
Well,
no, she's so it's funny, when I was at when I owned the studio, we had a MGM as a client, and we did everything from when you call MGM and hear that woman say press 1 for this and press 2 for that. We were recording everything. We were mixing their commercials. I'd written music for them. Darren had too. And so our client at MGM was Sean Cloninger, which is her husband. And we just hit it off right away. And he's like one of my best friends on earth. He's a brother of mine. And so he plays cowbell in our band. And at some point I was talking about getting a girl in Von Boldt because I mean, I look the way I look and I am what I am, but I like the idea of like everybody being able to come to a show and have the experience. So I thought like having a feminine quality to what we were doing, especially in the early days with the early lineup. I mean, it was pretty sweaty man stuff, you know what I mean? Which is great. I like that, but it doesn't hurt to have a woman's touch. You know what I mean? It could still be a man's world, but with a woman's touch. And so the original way it started was he was asking me before I started the band if I would take a crack at mixing some of her music. And, you know, to be honest, in the back of my head, I'm going, oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I got to fucking, I'm sure, you know, it's like somebody's like, oh, listen to my wife's music. I'm like, oh, this is going to be awful. You know, this is just, I'll put up with it. I'll mix it for him. He's a friend. And I listened to it and I was like, holy shit, she's incredible. So, you know, we asked her to be in the band, and she's been probably, besides me, like the most diehard member of the band. I mean, definitely the most diehard member of the band, let's be honest. And she's an incredible writer. She writes screenplays and has her own podcast. And she's one of those disgustingly talented people that just can do everything. And she has a morbid fascination with, you know, the macabre and all the stuff that I do, which you would never know just looking at, you know, her in her everyday life. But yeah, it's all there. And she even played a goth girl, I think, back in the day on Nickelodeon, All That. Her All That, where I was too old. I wasn't watching that at that point. I think my little brother did a little bit, but so I didn't know her from that. So that was good too, because I wasn't, you know, starstruck when I met her.
Right. She's amazing. She's absolutely incredible.
She's the best.
I love photographing her because she is so visual.
Mm-hmm.
She sings. She is all in. I mean,
yeah,
she's amazing.
The windmill with the ponytail too is wicked. The long ponytail windmill.
Right, but she's great. She's a great collaborator with you, and it really shows on stage. You guys are just like, you know, one can't go without the other kind of thing.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Definitely.
Yeah,
I think that's
sure.
I want to speak for, but I think that's I call her the whip because, you know, she's swinging the hair. I get whipped in the face sometimes, but that's show business, you know.
Yeah, she's great. I love Lisa. But
yeah.
So what do you have going on right now?
Oh God. Let me be very careful here. I'm going to talk very slow.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything I'm not supposed to.
Okay.
Especially in the Velvet Chains camp. The Velvet Chains, I'll just say Velvet Chains, we are currently doing a lot of really crazy shit you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it there just because I'm not good at interviews, and I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be the guy that gives it away.
I was hoping to get an exclusive, but that's okay. We'll save it for another time.
We'll call you. Let me check with them and see. Okay.
Well, you know what, Jason and I have had many conversations. I wanted him on the show before he left for Brazil, but anyway, he's gonna come on, and I want to see if I can get him and Nils on, because like I said, I mean, they're so cool, and I mean, I know you guys are gonna kill it, whatever you're doing.
Nils are the guys to poke for. If they're the ones who could speak, not me. I'm the new guy. You know, I'm just trying to keep.
But you're doing great, man. I mean, we're just here talking about rock and roll. I mean, hey, what are some of your influences?
Oh God, all over. Tom Waits, one of my all-time favorites. Everything Mike Patton's ever done, obviously. The Misfits, Danzig, everything Danzig's ever touched. Sinatra, you know. I'm trying so hard to be the heavy metal Sinatra. I don't know if it's working, but I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Right.
Film scores, you know. I mean, I listen to everything. I really do. Obviously, I'm more of a heavy metal punk rock guy, but yeah, I am all over the place. Opera. I mean, I used to sing at the Venetian when I was a kid. I rode the boats singing Italian, the gondoliers. Okay. And yeah, that was, I met so many opera singers there, and they were all giving me different pointers and tips. And that's why I can't get the vibrato out of my voice if I tried, you know, like I'm still singing on a gondola in a metal band.
You're still trained.
No, I wouldn't say I'm trained. Those guys work really hard. I don't want to take it away from them trying to put me in their boat, not to self-deprecate, but they, you know, they're real opera singers. I'm right. Yeah, I'm a rock for sure. I'm a rock singer. I'm a dirty.
Let me ask you, what was the first album you ever owned and paid for with your own money?
Ooh, I don't know if I remember the first album I ever bought. Most people remember this stuff. I don't know why I don't.
It's a hard question. Some people have a hard time with it.
Yeah,
if you can't, here's another question. What was the first concert you ever went to?
I think it was Crosby, Stills, and Nash without Neil Young.
Okay.
Just Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And it was awesome because Stephen Stills, I think, recognized that I was really young in the audience, and he threw me a pick and I missed it. I was too short, and somebody else caught it. He threw me another one, and someone it was really obvious he was throwing it to the kid, you know, and some guy in front snatched it. So he comes up to the front of the stage, rips this wicked solo, and he steps over the guy to hand me the guitar pick. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's a great story, though.
Those are the memories, you know what I mean, that make you
oh yeah, for sure,
you know, want to in your life for music. 100%.
So when's your next live performance?
Right now I can't say where, even though it's so close. There's some stuff going on, but it might be May 4th, but I'm not really sure. I'm actually, what I'm working on for Von Boldt right now is kind of touring the craft breweries, because I mean, metalheads, we love beer. And we did a special event for Craft House downtown, and they spent thousands of dollars building this huge stage and blocking off part of the street and everything down there. And so me and Lisa also sing in a Misfits cover band, like a tribute band from the Punk Rock Museum here in Vegas. And so we both played this, you know, Craft House downtown. And Craft House, you know, the place doesn't look like a rock place. It looks, you know, it's very nice. And when I showed up, there was, you know, really nice house music and, you know, a lot of, you know, nice looking people, and everybody was smiling. And then I have blacked out eyes, and Lisa costume, and, you know, it's I was surprised we got it, but they were just so good to us, and they're friends of ours now. And I was just like, you know what, I'd like to do a lot more special events like this, because we did curate a pretty unique experience for that. And then the Monday after, because there's been that big craft beer convention in town,
right?
So it's called Crosby Hops. I should check. But they bought out the Punk Rock Museum for a beer party for all the different craft brewers, and they had all these different beers out, and we played that, and it just went so well. But all the people, I mean, I met cats from Miami and they look Miami, and I'm sticking the microphone in their face and they're screaming, "I ain't no goddamn son of a bitch" to the Misfits songs and stuff. And then everybody knew the words and was just getting down. There's a small mosh pit. It's like, it was so cool, dude. It's like, I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe playing like, some of these other breweries, especially, I know there's a craft brew in, I think it's San Diego, and they're called Black Plague, and all their beers are named after different ways to die or something like that. I was looking into it and I was like, a lot of our songs would make a lot of sense there with all the death that we sing about. And so yeah, right now I'm focused on always playing Vamped. We love them. Always playing Usual Place. We love them. And Backstage Bar and Billiards. I mean, we always end up, we do our stints
Shout
at
out
Dive.
to Carlos and Ava.
Yeah. And yeah, they're
Awesome.
people. And Dive Bar, Double Down. We always end up, those are just fun shows, man. And you never know who's going to show up at the Double Down.
Right.
You get calls from the nightclub just trying to see like
just
the
rolling
dirtier side of Las Vegas punk rock scene and all that. You just get a mixed bag of people. And the truth is too that we usually sell a lot of merch at Double Down, because a lot of people are just like, they're having a weird moment in Vegas where they were on vacation, they were at the pool all day, and then they show up and the place is covered in stickers and spray paint, and there's this crazy metal band singing about death, and they're just like, let's just remember this and get one of their shirts. I don't know if we're getting any fans from them, you know what I mean? But they definitely, they buy a shirt and they have a great experience and a great time, which is, that's what we do it for.
That's what you do it for, man. We love seeing you perform. I mean,
thank you.
Just incredible. Well, before I let you go, why don't you tell everybody your socials and where they can find everything about you?
Yeah, so we got vonboldt.com, which probably nobody goes to. I'm not sure why I have that site. And then we're at Von Boldt Band on everything. And that's VOND. Oh, here you go. Product placement. There you go.
There you go. Product endorsement. There we go.
Good enough.
Well,
how are you doing? What's going on with you? What's new with you?
Well, I'm going to be busy in June and July. I'm going back to Australia.
Oh, right on.
Cover the last show of the Kings of Thrash tour in Melbourne.
Oh, hell yeah.
In July. So I'm flying out there. Melbourne knows how to rock, man. Australia has the biggest thrashers you'll ever want to meet. So it's going to be killer. Kings of Thrash have a summer tour that's going to start soon in June, early June. And I'm going to go to Phoenix to catch that show at the 44.
Okay.
And there's a lot of great bands that are going to be opening. Gravel, friends of mine, are going to be opening that tour. And,
what kind of rock?
Yeah.
Rock, metal? What's Gravel? I don't know.
They're metal. They're metal rock. I mean, amazing. You got to check them out. They've played Vamped before. Great band. So I'm so happy for them that they got on this tour. But yeah, just trying to stay busy. Talking to you, man.
I think I'll tell you, Velvet Chains is touring in June. I think it's a Midwest tour.
Okay.
I think I could say that. So there you go.
Okay, there you go.
And we posted some of it. So
my home area.
Yeah.
Jason's home area.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it was great talking to you. Let's keep in touch. I know there's going to be a lot happening with you this year. Congratulations on Velvet Chains. I'm so happy for you. It was great to see you and Lisa back on stage. Can't wait to see you guys again. Those pictures were killer, dude. One of my favorite ones of you you're playing and it's like smoke is coming off your hats.
It might have
lights. It was great. That was like one of my favorite shots. But yeah, so we'll talk soon. Keep rock alive, man. That's
I don't know what else to do.
All about.
Yep, 100%. You can count on
24, man. We've got to hit them hard.
You have my axe.
Hit them hard, man. All right, and we'll talk soon. Thanks so much for coming on. It's about time, right?
I know. And anytime, seriously, hit me up. Even if I got to do it while I'll always talk to you.
Yeah, we'll check back, later in the summer and see what's going on. And hey, give Jason Hope a message for me. I'm coming for him.
knuckles from you.
I'm coming for Jason.
There you go. That's the spirit.
We got to talk, man.
I love it.
All right. Talk to you soon. Thanks, James.
All right. See you soon.
Bye. James Van Boldt. This guy is great. He's so talented. He does it all. He's in Velvet Chains as well. A lot of musicians in the Vegas area we call double dipping. Nothing wrong with it. This guy is killer in any band. So definitely check him out. If you're in the Vegas area, you can also check him out on Spotify. This is the Vegas Rock Goddess on the Rocks, total entertainment. Always like and subscribe to On the Rocks, total entertainment, because you never know who I'll be talking to next.